Jake Paul's knockout loss to Anthony Joshua instantly set the combat sports world on fire. The moment the final punch landed, reactions poured in from every corner, especially from current and former UFC fighters who had plenty to say about what they just watched. Some questioned the quality of the bout, others mocked Paul's approach, and a few didn't hold back at all. Joshua's experience showed from the opening bell. He stayed patient, absorbed the early moments, and gradually began to assert control. As the fight wore on, the difference in skill and ring maturity became impossible to ignore. When the finishing right hand finally landed, it ended the night in dramatic fashion and sparked a wave of criticism across social media. Several fighters piled on immediately. One former champion dismissed the fight outright, calling it embarrassing. Others joked about Paul repeatedly shooting for takedowns, something rarely seen in a boxing ring. A few suggested that Paul was trying to bend the rules of the sport instead of fully embracing it. Even a former opponent questioned Paul's work ethic, hinting that preparation may have been lacking. As the criticism grew louder, Paul's promotional team was quick to respond. Most Valuable Promotions CEO Nakisa Bidarian pushed back hard against the narrative that the fight was a failure. He emphasized that Paul lasted far longer than most critics predicted and even had moments where he competed well against a former heavyweight champion. Bidarian highlighted Paul's toughness, noting that he was dropped by a crushing punch that broke his jaw, yet still fought his way back to his feet. He pointed out that many expected a quick ending, but instead saw Paul survive deep into the fight. To him, that alone showed progress and resilience. He also praised Paul's defensive moments, saying that making Joshua miss cleanly was an accomplishment few give credit for. According to Bidarian, Paul stepped into the ring against a man with every possible advantage and walked away with valuable lessons that will shape his future. Beyond the single fight, Bidarian framed Paul's boxing journey as something rare and worth acknowledging. He reminded critics that Paul began his professional career on an undercard and slowly built himself into a main event attraction. Now, years later, he headlined a massive event against one of boxing's biggest names under his own promotional banner. Whether fans loved the fight or hated it, the reaction proved one thing. Jake Paul remains a polarizing figure who draws attention, criticism, and conversation every time he steps into the ring. And win or lose, that spotlight is not fading anytime soon.